Hello everybody, I'm TTMMW and welcome to Top 10 Mcreator Mods of the Week. Now if you recall last week I released a video pretty similar to this, but it didn't say of the week. That's because I figured it would be a one-off deal. But it did pretty well and I did enjoy making it quite a bit, so I figured I would start making it a weekly series. Now, what is this series? It is a series that basically aims to prove that mods made with the Mcreator mod developing software are not terrible. These are a collection of mods released within the last 2 or 3 weeks, which I think accurately represent the extent of how far Mcreator can be pushed. So, I say we get right into it. If you guys want any of these mods, all of the download links are in the description, or you could just go straight to the website and find them for yourself. So here we go with number 1, the Up Cave mod. This is a mod which aims to upgrade the way caves look, feel, and work. As you can see, we have this decorational block called Dark Stone. In essence, it is a darker version of stone, and it looks very nice. You could turn it into these dark stone shingles, which look pretty nice in my opinion. They're like a dark prismarine. In this dark stone, you could find sapphire ore, which I had an item frame with the item, but it appears to be gone. This is the sapphire. It currently does not have any other function other than to look very nice, in my opinion. And as you can see, all of these decorational blocks from this mossy stone and dark stone, this luma moss, and all of these stalagmites and stalactites, all of these look amazing when in actual caves. And since this display does not give you an accurate representation, I put together a little video showing off what you should expect when you go into caves. I will play that right now. Moving on to the next mod, this is the Dark Descent mod, a slightly more recent mod which aims to add dungeons and crypts that work better than, the normal stuff. It adds a bunch of blocks and a ton of mobs, which you can find in these structures. First of all, we got this special type of stone, the Crypt Stone, which looks like stone, just a bit darker. It has all of the variants, crafted exactly how you'd expect, and we got this nice blue Crypt Torch, which works a little bit weird in creative mode, but I'll put that aside. There are all these nice decorational skeletons, which you can find in these. I believe there's like 1 or 2 more than this, but these give you basically the gist of it. Now in these crypts and dungeons, you will find these chests, which have corresponding keys. This is a normal chest, which you can open just fine. You use iron key on an iron chest, and up until you get each emerald, the highest tier, you get some really good stuff from it. Now if we move on over here, you can see that there's some more ways to get loot in the form of these vases. You can step on them to break them, or you can simply use your fist. And of course the tiers work the same way. Emerald's the highest. You'll barely get any of that stuff from that. This is also where you can find keys. You can also find keys by killing the mobs that this mod adds, which, despite how things went last video, I'm going to spawn a few of. This is the Necromancer, the boss of the mod. You can see it burns in daylight, but of course when it's in a crypt it does not burn, because there's no daylight. And it has some very interesting boss mechanics. As you can see, it spawns these corrupted skeletons, which you can barely see, and it also affects you with different potion effects. And it can turn invisible. Alright, and I have killed it, and you can see that it drops some incredible loot. Like, you got a bunch of diamond keys, 2 nether stars. It's definitely worth killing one of these things, even though it takes a very long time. And there's also these nice pillar blocks, and this crypt rune stone, which gives you a random 1 or 2 random negative effects when you step on it, and it emits this really nice glowing texture. Wonder if that could be used well in builds. Alright, moving on, we got the Extra Craft mod, which is admittedly a very small mod, but it adds some nice tektite, which can be mined to make these pretty good tools. It also has these mossy planks and this nice apple juice, which gives you speed. It's a very small mod, but can be used in mod packs to add a little spice to your world, though I admit the mossy plank texture could be improved. Next is the Improved Durability mod, which, as you can tell from all the tools up here, basically aims to improve the way you craft tools and use durability. You can see that there are these, yeah, it's in Spanish or French or Italian or whatever this is, I don't know. I think it's Italian. But yeah, you can see that there are these rods made of diamond and iron, which you use to craft these different tools. And these tools, certain tools, give you some special effects, which allow for you to mine faster and more efficiently. There are also these staves. This one is a multi-tool, and this one is a explodey staff. So you can see if I use this one, boom. As you can see, it uses these lit fireballs to work. You can shoot these as fast as you want, and it will absolutely tear into the earth. Now this is the multi-tool, which essentially works as all of the tools and gives you a bunch of incredible effects. Alright, this next mod's a big one, is the Profundum Corporis Mod, and just look at this. This mod adds a dimension, which I'm not going to show because it might spoil the mod, but in this dimension you could find 3 new kinds of wood. Oops, I broke the door. Anyways, it adds 3 new types of wood: the slime-infested oak, the oak fiber, and the birch fiber. Of course, there's also the gilded birch log, old oak, and the slime-infested oak. You see you've got these nice planks, this magma, this slime water, these slimed oak sprouts, soil grass, and a bunch of materials. We got chrysolite, olivine, comatite, hot comatite, resting skeleton shell, scrotum relic stone, and a bunch of types of comatite bricks. There's also these chalk blocks, these volcanic soil, and these gilded soil these soil grass and gilded soil grass. I think this mod has some amazing textures and some awesome features. I think this mod is great for what it does. Next we have the Dark Steel mod, which is another mod similar to the first one, or the second one. It aims to improve dungeoning. The main attraction are these dark steel materials, and this dark steel scythe, which if we go into F3 looks pretty menacing, or F5 mode. There are also these vases which give you loot, these awesome head decorations, a bunch of different types of decorational blocks for the crypts, and these awesome functional blocks. You can see we got a key block, disappears when it's right clicked with the key, boss key blocks, and these chains for decoration. There's also these curse blocks, the dungeon curse, which you get rid of with the curse key. Now here's the dark steel armor. The helmet has 2 variants, open and closed, and they look pretty great and give you quite a bit of armor protection. All in all, a nice well-rounded mod with some decent dungeoning features. Not quite as complete as that Dark Descent mod, but still has a lot of potential and is pretty good at what it does. Moving on, we have the Glass Expansion mod. And now you might be thinking, wait a minute, didn't you show this mod off in the last video? And you would be wrong. I showed off the Mo Glass mod, which does a very similar thing to this. However, it's not complete and doesn't have all of the stained glass variants. This mod is entirely complete and functional, and even adds some nice glass shards, which you can use to craft these various things. This mod has, in my opinion, some nicer textures. All in all, it looks pretty good. I appreciate a good glass expansion mod. Next, we have a very simple mod, the Slabs and Stairs Galore mod. Now this mod, as you can see, adds slabs and stairs for a lot of the blocks in the game. Now unfortunately, most of the blocks that have functionality do not have that same functionality accept these ice stairs, but only on this step. It does not work down here. Weird Mcreator bug. But anyways, these are going to be mainly decorational since they do not work for the most part. There's quite a few issues with it, but it's well-rounded enough that it could be used well for decoration. Next, we have probably one of my favorite mods on this list, the Summoning of the Conjurous Mod. This mod adds 2 classes that you can play as, the Hell Spawner and the Priest. It has these armors. Now the reason you would want such armors in the game is that, as you can see when I'm in survival mode, there's a little mana counter down there. If we put on the necklace, you can see nothing happens, but when we put on the scarf, you could see that the maximum increases to 30. What the necklace does is, if you look down at the mana counter down there, if I put it on, it starts regenerating, and when I take it off, it does not. Now it works the same way with the Hell Spawner stuff. It's all just a matter of preference. Now if we look in here, we got the main weapons, quote unquote, of this mod. We got the crosses. Now these crosses, they summon little beings that do your bidding. You can see here's this little holy light. There is the Miracle Knight, and there's whatever this is called, I don't remember. But anyways, these guys will follow you around, assuming you're holding the cross. Now, if you grab this Rod of Commandment, you can tame these guys, and they will do more of your bidding. They will attack stuff for you, and, you know, follow you around, and teleport to you when you get too far. Currently, I don't know if there's a way to de-summon these guys, but, you know, why would you want to? They're adorable. I love these guys. Now, the same goes for the Hell Spawner, except with these tomes, which summon you. These guys, which are limited to the ground, but they are absolutely adorable. Look at these guys. These little scorpion creatures. So anyways, depending on the class, you will get different enchantments. There is the Withering enchantment for the Hell Spawner, which basically makes these guys stronger, and there's the Blessing enchantment, which makes these guys stronger. Now, in terms of universal stuff, there are these things. There are the Duality, which means that you can summon 2 per cross, and the Level Up, which, again, makes them stronger. There are also mana potions, which you use to restore and regenerate your mana, without the need for the scarves and necklaces. I think it's pretty cool. Now, there are structures that correspond to the class. There is this church, and there is that layer over there. Let's take a quick tour of the church. And there it is. That was the church. Now over here, you can see that this structure for the Hell Spawner is significantly smaller. Well, that's because it goes underground and is just about as big, I'd say. Very deep underground. And if you go through here, you can see a spawner with silverfish, as well as the loot. And over here is where you can, ooh, my holy light. Over here is some more loot, and, you know, etc, etc. I'm not going to dig up, because that would take longer than just leaving the normal way. Anyways, that was the Summoning of the Conjurous Mod, which is being updated, of course. And I think it is a very nice mod. Look at the way he runs. That's really cool. Now anyways, moving on to the final mod, I wanted to end it off with something simple and fun. This is the More Discs mod. Currently it only adds 1 disc as of my downloading, but it is a song which I find extraordinarily catchy. The basis behind this music disc is that Pigstep was added into the Nether update to correspond with, you know, the Crimson Forest, the Piglins, that sort of deal. Now this song, written by the mod maker himself, is supposed to correspond with the Warp Forest. Without further ado, Teleport by Sea Monster with 3, 4, 0, and 3. And without further ado, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye!